Alright guys, now let's look at the next format. We will now look at hierarchical steps format. Okay, so again, this is how it looks like for hierarchical steps format. Okay, so quite lengthy, right? Okay, so when do you need to use hierarchical steps format? Is when you have procedures in which you should use or you should explain in more detail, and sometimes you might also need to have sub-steps, okay, to explain on the details. Okay, so if you look at here, the hierarchical step format allows the use of easy to read steps for experienced users while including more detailed sub-steps as well. So this is what I meant by the sub-steps just now. Okay, experienced readers may only refer to the sub-steps when they need to, while beginners will use the detailed sub-steps to help them learn the process. Okay, so I'll explain. Alright, so if you look at here again, this is hierarchical step format. Okay, I believe many of you actually use hierarchical steps format actually. Okay, so again, if you look at here, you guys can use sub-steps. Okay, if you need to explain the process or the step in more detail. For example, number 1. So this is the first step. Remove the flask to a clean, clear fume hood. Okay, so for the experienced user, okay, you might already know how to do this, how to remove the flask to a clean, clear fume hood. Okay, but if you are a beginner, you might need to know further, or you might need to have more details on how to perform this step. So this is why we have steps here, or the sub details. So if you are the beginner, you can refer to this in which the first thing that you need to do is acquire a labeled container to place the unused portion of the solvent to be tried. Then, if this is to be discarded, label it as hazardous waste. And then obtain a container of sufficient size to hold both ice water and the flask. Okay, so do you guys get it? So again, you guys can use steps here to explain more on the step that you have, especially for the beginners. Okay, if you are already experienced user or you have used the SOP many times, so perhaps what you guys can do is you just refer to number 1, remove the flask to a clean clear fume hood, and then you right away go to number 2, decant the bulk of the remaining solvent into the appropriate labeled container, and then now use a pipette to add a small liquid of butanol and so on. Okay, so this is where you would use hierarchical steps format. Okay, if you need to explain in more detail. Okay, so that's it for SOP with hierarchical step format.